Tell the editing team if they cut that out, they're fired. Yo, what is up? Welcome back. Thank you so much for making it this far. Now listen up. You have exactly 1 hour to ride a mountain bike. You have to ride for that full hour. The trail that you are going to ride is cross country, maybe with some light enduro. It's a loop. It's about 7 miles. The climbs are short. The descents are short. You know, there's 600, 700 feet of elevation. Now this ride is going to be an easy ride. It's going to be a moderate effort ride, just an average ride. You're not gonna stop to take breaks and you're not gonna push it to the max. You're just gonna have an enjoyable ride. Remember that, an enjoyable ride. And you get to choose between an enduro bike or a light e-bike. But before you choose, I'm going to ask you this. Which bike do you think you will actually get a better workout on, considering this is just a moderate ride? Now I know what your answer to that question is. It's, dude, you're fucking stupid and you ask shitty questions. And while some of that might be true, and before you leave this video to scroll for a wow face thumbnail with Game Changer in the title, just know that that question is based on experience that I have had. So if you stay with me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this experiment to the real world. I'm going to ride both bikes on the same loop. So our constraint will be simply time based. It's going to be 1 hour. Why? Well, because everything in life is limited by time. Now, while neither of these bikes are perfect for a cross-country trail, they're kind of like do-it-all bikes. So these bikes are about as equal as I can make them, considering one is an enduro bike and another one is a trail e-bike. I'm gonna do one ride on one day and the next ride on the second day. That way I'm not fatigued from the first ride on the second ride. I'm gonna eat the same several dozens of leftover Christmas cookies before each ride for breakfast and for dinner. I'm even gonna wear the same super aerodynamic outfit for each ride. On day one, I'm gonna ride the Propane Tyee V6. This big bitch comes in about 36 pounds. She's got 160 out back and 170 up front. So the second ride will be on the Propane Stretch CF. This big bitch comes in around 50 to 51 pounds. Got 150 in the back and 160 up front. Now remember, everything is as equal as it possibly can be. I've got 1 hour to ride start to finish, no resting, no hammering on the pedals, just an enjoyable average ride. I'm gonna track my heart rate and my distance with my Garmin smartwatch. I'm gonna make note of how I feel physically after the short ride. And we're gonna come back here, check out the data and see if there is any value to this question. And we're gonna find out if I'm as stupid as you fucking think. Let's get to the trails. Here we go, all things equal, starting at the same spot. Let's rock this down. And we are off. How you doing whenever you get to try not to scare people? Thank you. Just me, just me. Now I should mention this is my first ride on a new rear tire. I should have known something was up when the delivery guy dropped the package on my front porch. I looked out the window and he was standing up, holding his back, wincing in pain. I looked at him closely. He mouthed something about his future, his family, and then a tear rolled down his cheek. Just kidding, none of that happened, but had I asked him what he thought was in the box, whether it was a rock or a tire, he certainly would have guessed a rock. Now, not only is the tire heavy, but it's incredibly slow rolling. But for more cross-country oriented stuff like this, I'm certainly not doing myself any service riding this tire. However, the cool thing is when you get off of a slow tire, especially in the wintertime, and you get onto a more faster rolling tire, feels like you were doing high elevation training and suddenly you went from slow man to he-man, or slow woman to she-woman. Doesn't make any sense. You got a nice specimen there. Now, I'm no stranger to pedaling. I recently did this, and I like being out for a slog. It gives me time with my thoughts.
comfortable being alone with my thoughts. I've never said anything to myself that I have found offensive. With that being said, I am in the market for more of a trail-oriented bike. I think a 150 out back, 160 up front would be the max I would go. Again, I prefer to ride and be underbiked than I do being overbiked, so I'm going to step it back. If you have any ideas of any bikes that I should look at, let me know in the comments below. Greatly appreciated. Thank you.
How you doing? Got a good looking doggy there. You too, thanks. Just me coming through. Here we go. 5 more seconds. Stop. So just a real quick moment to thank my sponsors for this video. It's you, it's for anybody that watches my videos. All these subscribers, the folks that like the videos, the folks that leave comments, you guys are all the sponsors for my videos. I appreciate it more than you will ever know. Makes talking into the stupid little camera all worthwhile, so I appreciate it, thank you. Here we go. I'm gonna start off in green Power Ranger mode. Gonna switch the modes as I normally would on a bike ride. I'm not going to stick to one mode. Whoa. Thank you. Appreciate it, man. Have a good one, dude.
And as I mentioned before, this is really the first time that I ever rode an e-bike on cross-country type trails. You know, normally I'm riding just climbs to go in lap jump trails, so being the first time on a cross-country trail, I found the noise that the motor makes when I pass other riders or pass hikers to be a little uncomfortable, a little bit embarrassing. There's no reason to be embarrassed by riding an e-bike. It was just awkward for me.
Here we go. Here's our climb. Thank you guys, just me coming through, appreciate it.
So to keep things as equal as possible, I put that heavy ass slog of a tire on the e-bike too. Now it's an e-bike, it's not going to make that big of a difference, but again, I'm just trying to keep things as comparable and as even as possible. Does it make a difference? I don't know, but at least I can rule out the possibility.
Hell. Same bad line. There you go. Bless you. It's all right, I try not to scare people. So I'm right at where I wrapped up my ride yesterday at 1 hour, which coincidentally was right at my parked car. This time I'm at 45 minutes, so I'm 15 minutes faster on this loop on this bike, which means I'm gonna keep going to get that hour in. So we're gonna start the loop again right here. Same effort. Obviously a little faster on this. You're good. I rarely hit people, so I do my best. Thank you, have a good one. Here's our turn. Coming out. Hey guys, thank you very much. Just me coming through. Enjoy your hike. Thanks. You too, thanks. Thanks guys. Have a good one. I scared the bears away for you. Here we go, urge number 2. Actually, urge number 3. You're all right, I won't hit you. How you doing? And stop. Now, why do I think this experiment has value? Well, because I primarily use an e-bike to lap jump lines. And in my experience, riding an e-bike, lapping jump lines, provides a way bigger workout than riding my typical mountain bike. And why do I say that? Well, as soon as you're done doing the zoot suit ride or the boot scoop boogie, you're back up the hill ready to drop in and get jiggy with it all over again. And you know, mom's never around to tell me to take water breaks, so I just get a lot of jumping in, and it's exhausting. The only problem is jumping an e-bike isn't fun for me. Now let's look at the data, or if you're sophisticated data, or if you're an employee on the Starship Enterprise data. All right, so what you're going to see in the left side of your screen is the mountain bike results. And what that represents is a completely average, normal, easy, walk in the park type of ride for me. But to be honest with you, these numbers don't mean shit to me. I don't look at numbers. All I care about is how I feel after a ride. You know, I've been doing this for a while, so it was a normal ride for me, and everything felt normal. Nothing felt fatigued or, you know, out of the ordinary. But this data, these numbers, I don't care about. They don't mean shit to me, and they really shouldn't mean shit to you, other than the fact that they're an average representation of a ride. But where they do have value is when you compare them to the e-bike. So let's plop the e-bike numbers up there as well. So some obvious things to note here, speed, the average speed and the max speed was more on the e-bike. But here's the crazy thing. So my enduro bike isn't set up to be efficient on cross-country trails. Like I mentioned before, it has super slow rolling tires. It's an MX setup, so it's not a full 29er. And these results are way closer than I ever anticipated, considering that my enduro bike is not built for cross-country efficiency. Had I changed the tires to a faster rolling tire and maybe put a 29er on the rear and made other decisions to take some weight off the bike, I think these numbers would have been way, way, way closer. And over the course of a 1 hour ride, they're not that far off, which is wild to me. So my average heart rate was 133 over the course of that hour on the mountain bike, and on the e-bike, it was 127. So to me, that feels pretty close over the course of an hour, but you know, if you spread that out over a longer period of time, of course, that's going to have a more dramatic impact on your feel and your overall exertion levels. When we're talking about like getting a good workout in, obviously like the heart rate and stuff and what heart rate zone you're in is important, but a lot of people measure success based on the calories that they burn. So what was surprising to me is that on the mountain bike, okay, so I burned a total of 634 calories, and on the e-bike, I burned 587. Over the course of an hour, that's only a difference of what, 47 calories. That's like only a fraction of one of the several hundred cookies that I've eaten over the last few days. You can see that the e-bike, it's less of a workout on paper. However, compared to my super inefficient enduro bike, I'm blown away actually by how close the numbers are over the course of an hour. But here's the most important thing maybe, and I mentioned this before, and it's how you feel after a ride. So I mentioned that after my mountain bike ride, I felt normal like I typically do. But after my e-bike ride, my legs felt good. They were less fatigued than they were on the mountain bike. However, my body felt more fatigued. So I felt it in my back and in my shoulders and in my arms and in my hips. And I felt it kind of like, you know, when you feel like you got a little bit more of a workout in your soul. You can't put a point on where you feel fatigued. That's how I feel after I ride an e-bike. But I'm super active as a mountain biker, even on cross-country trails, so I'm using my body mass to really work the bike and move it through corners and over rocks and through technical terrain. I don't just kind of sit and smash through rock gardens and stuff, you know, I don't just sit and let the motor do the work. So I think that the results would be different for somebody that is that type of rider. So here's the other thing too. So it's not that I'm not used to working heavy objects. On average, I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week and do weight training. So I would say that I am perfectly capable of handling a heavy bike. Now, if you knew me, you would know that really I've been lifting an intense weight since well, day one of potty training, but what, I should cut that out? Tell the editing team if they cut that out, they're fired. But with that being the case, I still feel a different type of workout, a more intense workout on the e-bike. So if I wanted to have fun and burn calories, I would 100% choose the mountain bike. However, if I wanted to go out and have more of an intensive like muscular training session and really hit stuff fast and really work on upper body strength and power as far as dynamic body movements on the bike, I would probably choose the e-bike. I'm not a super big fan of e-bikes. I prefer to ride a mountain bike any day of the week. But it's none of my business, it's none of anybody's business why somebody chooses to ride an electric mountain bike. Now, when you see them pass you on a climb, and it's easy to think that they are cheating, but while they're perhaps cheating in the legs on the climb, they might be making up for it, you know, elsewhere on the trail if they're more of an aggressive rider. So as most things are in life, I don't think it's entirely black and white. There's a ton of gray area, which is why I don't judge anybody on what they're riding. And instead, I'll mind my own business and focus on what I want to get out of my ride. Thank you for watching. Now you can go and find your wow face thumbnail and your game changer in the title. I appreciate you watching this far. It means a ton to me. What can I say? And I will see you on the next one.